really something special. It's a new way of, I want to say seeing things, but that's too simplistic. It's a new way of life, but not just for you. It's a partnership of the old and the new. Whatever has occurred previously is irrelevant, because from this point forwards, the old and the new meet to form something completely different. On the global stage, there's many players, and that's where you'll be, guiding these players in a role that does not yet exist. You will create this role through a continuation of your process unfolding. There is nothing you can do to change this now. Everything is set, and all will unfold in the perfect way. There's so much still yet to come that we can't even begin to tell you about, dear one. The whales must speak. The ocean must speak to us, and we must start to listen. They will tell us of the old times, and they will choose who to communicate with. This will not be in a way that is understood by most. And there will be many false accusations and doubts. But there will be one who will always believe you. Who never doubted you from the start. Who saw how much you carried alone and thought, I must help with that. This is someone you've known a long time, lifetimes, and they must return to your life before this must begin. This is not something you can hurry. This must unfold as it should, not for any other reason other than ease. Do not try and make things fit as they don't. There is so much still yet to learn, and so much that can be undone. We have not forgotten. We have not forgotten. We have not forgotten. We have not forgotten your efforts from last time. Sweet earth, we have not forgotten those of you pushed and gave their lives for something far greater than yourself. And I know many of you now suffer the trauma of healing that wound. Sorry, this channel needs a minute. But we do remember, and what you gave is not forgotten, nor will it ever be, because to leave a mark like that on the grounds you walked will forever be embedded in this earth. Watch them try. Watch them make the same mistakes they did not learn from last time. But all is aligned. All is on time. And no one needs to die. Nothing needs to burn. For this we pray. For we have gifts. Gifts we have buried to now reactivate within us. We have gifts. May them now reveal. May we be filled with the confidence we deserve. May we release past binds of duties that are not ours to bear. May we release ourselves from family ties, from karmic patterns, and all that no longer serves the greatest good of all. We lay our service to the earth, and thus the galaxy at large. All I have in my head is tree powers activate. I felt the urge to channel a reading I was going to do for myself, and it being Earth Day, the birthday, and the climate change awareness circulating in the collective and the media. I feel the earth activation for unfolding reflections also, because this is a collective, regardless of who watches, who doesn't watch, who feels, who doesn't feel, who believes, who doesn't believe. None of that matters to me. What matters is that energy and momentum is moving behind the people, the voices, the intentions that are pure of heart and that can genuinely make a difference. It doesn't have to be a big difference, it doesn't have to be a small difference, it doesn't have to be a physical difference. difference. But it does have to be there. We have to keep moving. And it's so very easy for me to sit in my own world and forget the necessity of sharing what I'm doing, because yes, I might look weird or I might feel weird to some, but to those who get it, they get it, and they also don't feel as alone. We have to start believing in something bigger than ourselves, because otherwise, what the fuck is everything about? What are we doing? We have to think about our kids, our grandkids, our fucking future as a race. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way, so it makes me wonder who else is out there also feeling similarly. I invite you to close your eyes. And I invite you to receive this transmission from the earth, from myself, from the angels, from our hearts. Your hands over your heart and to open your heart with conscious intention just for this brief transmission. Then through personal choice you may choose to close it or remain open. I personally will always choose heart open, even though it hurts, even though the things that I discover or feel I might not necessarily understand or logically comprehend, but it's a connection to where I come from, where we come from. We are from the earth, and we must feel with it. We cannot leave her to feel on her own. This is why what we do is so important. Feel free to move your body. If it feels right for you to do so. For the highest good of all. Please open your eyes if you have not already. And I invite you to reflect upon whatever you felt, whatever arose for you. And if nothing, okay, how do you feel? Please try to make reflection a process that is ongoing, a practice almost. Through reflection we find ways to make things fit that before did not fit. Very masculine energy coming through. She says, pulling a feminine energy. I feel that, I feel that for many of us, everything has been feeling heavy. I feel as though many of us have been feeling alone, whether that's consciously or not. I think it's no secret given what's going on in the world at the moment, but I'm feeling an especially heavy energy from the masculine within. So obviously, if anyone's familiar with more Eastern tradition or even any of the spiritual culture, I'm in the mainstream-ish at the moment. The masculine and feminine resides within all of us. They are energies, and we embody predominantly more of one or the other. It has nothing to do with being a man or a woman. You can embody more feminine in a man's body, and vice versa. So it's the masculine within us, the action. I know that Mars. I know that Mars has gone into Pisces, I believe, at the moment, where it's in its detriment. And it's done, I believe, a 2-year cycle. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not correct me if I'm wrong. But it's been a long time, a long cycle for Mars itself, and I know that that embodies a lot of our masculine energies. We all have Mars in our birth charts. For example, mine is in Virgo, so I've noticed disorganization and chaos is erupting in my life. Simply because my masculine energy is tired and is needing to rest. We're being encouraged to sleep more. Sleep more, and where possible, place things you don't enjoy to the side. Where possible, place things you don't enjoy to the side, and embody a nurturing for this action side of yourself, this side of you that is very action oriented and detail oriented and moves towards your goals step by step. We're being asked to pause for appreciation for this part of ourselves and to really understand that without the masculine, we have no balance. Equally, without the feminine, we have no balance, but there is a deep need to honour and respect the masculine within at the moment, for he is in pain and he is tired, he is wounded. And this is not a comment upon the feminine being not so, but we are human beings. We all must treat each other as human beings, not as man and woman anymore. So many things that require that differentiation are almost unimportant now. But we must honour the masculine within. We must honour the feminine within. We must unlock a part of ourselves that is androgynous. The deck I'm using at the moment is David Bowie, Starman, and I think that the androgynous embodiment of being doesn't have to look any certain type of way. It doesn't have to be a part of any certain type of community. It doesn't have to be a discussion even. You know, I think from my perspective there's a lot of talking and there's a lot of sharing and stories which are so vital, and that's already being done. You know, that will happen, that will unfold regardless. But from my perspective, what is really needed is just feeling the necessity for this change, this shift, this movement. And I know in Eastern practices, the whole idea of masculine and feminine is so ingrained into just everything, into looking at nature, into the ways of moving and being and existing. Everything is dual in that aspect. Everything is interdependent. And I actually don't feel in my heart that humanity has moved that far away from this. I don't feel that we have lost touch of that interdependence at all. Perhaps, you know, in many communities of self-help and healing, there is a huge focus on now codependency and over-attachment or anxious attachment, you know, everything within the psychological field. And if there's anything that resonates with you, I would encourage active investigation in your own life into those topics, because they are necessary to understand at least. But I feel that my focus and my emphasis and my strength is to focus on what connects. And I believe that there's a lot more of us who are able to do so just by being a little more mindful of what we're doing when we're doing it. For example, if we're taking a walk, we're noticing how our body is feeling. How are we feeling when we're around people? How are we feeling when we're alone? You know, these things don't have to be attributed to an understanding of energy or talked about in a spiritual way, I guess. They don't have to be expressed in any other way other than learning how to feel and what it feels like within your own body. This is the Spirit Song Tarot, which I personally adore. I don't know if you can see that. Definitely an aspiring filmer, camera artist. I don't know the right words. Spirit's just giving me a cheeky little message there. Just telling me, show your passion, which is very lovely. So we have transformation, transition, liberation, with, I believe, some kind of fly or maybe moth, because transformation. Hope you can see that. And the Strength card, courage and endurance, with the elephant. It's also reminding me of something I mentioned in the channel, which was about whales. And I believe that the whale collective has embodied on Earth as a human species, within the human species. I believe that they are ancient and wise creatures way beyond our capacity for understanding of the Earth, as many within the ocean are. And I believe that certain people have embodied with this soul energy as a part of their journey to integrate, to marry the old and the new together. That's my personal understanding. And again, take what resonates. Don't let the rest take from your belief systems and what you resonate with. But the animal kingdom is certainly a powerful place to look. I think if our society is anything to go off of, we have an overvaluation of a certain way of being, a certain way of existing, a certain way of perceiving the world. And in actuality, we can learn so much from those who are different to us, who maybe don't perceive in the same way we do and don't live in the same way we do. They say travel broadens the mind. This is almost the travel and expansion of the soul in itself. And I believe that energy is really supported at the moment. I'm sure that everyone who is in this sort of community feels similarly. That now is the biggest time for change. April especially this year, there's a potential for a quantum shift in the field, which, if you're not familiar with these terms that I'm using, just basically means there's an opportunity for a lot of humanity to step into a higher way of being and a higher way of perceiving the world. Not that higher is better, you understand. I just mean from the perspective of depth of feeling, depth of connectivity, depth of oneness to what is around us, and perhaps more of an innate knowing and feeling of everything around us. I think that despite tragedies happening in the world daily, every minute, every second, every millisecond, there is so much power in the all. I watched an interesting talk by Sadhguru yesterday where he was speaking of, and will say a lot more eloquently than I will, I'll see if I can find the video again and link it below if you're interested. But he was speaking of how whenever we take responsibility for a limited amount of things in our life, like our family, our friends, our work, our body, our health, that is all necessary to a certain extent, but there is a greater responsibility we hold for the collective, for humanity, for Earth, for all that is. And once we release the boundaries almost between that us and world line, we free ourselves from that responsibility being a burden. It becomes a blessing or ease. It becomes natural. It's definitely something I've noticed in my own life, in my own way of being. There is a necessity for self, but the more that I drop that necessity, the easier it becomes, the easier it flows, the more natural it is to play my part in the collective, to embody who I am choosing to be in this life. And I think that with that I will leave you with the thought, how can we be more responsible? I don't think we necessarily need to know the answer in any kind of logical way, but I think that there's a small part of us inside that knows and that already understands what I'm trying to express. I have no idea how much resonates with people in what I've expressed so far, because my moon is in Pisces but my Mercury is in Gemini, so I have a lot of harmony to achieve through this alignment by expressing my emotions in clear and articulate ways. And when the Pisces energies are strong, it's often difficult for me it's a challenge for me to present images and present what I'm feeling and honouring in my own experience into the world, to be understood or not, as the case may be. But I think I'm holding my hand to my heart and saying I'm trying, and I hope that you feel as I feel, and I hope that we can start to use feeling as another method of communication. I have a beautiful friend who just says, Hannah, let me feel you, just let me feel you, and I feel that I would love that more in daily life, for us to feel one another as we are, rather than always analysing and articulating in a certain way, you know. Sometimes that's just not necessary. And with that, I thank you for your time, if you've followed me on this journey thus far. And this is the Earth activation of Unfolding Reflections. May we trust that all will unfold in the perfect way, and that we can join together our hearts to create a better life for future generations. We may not all be hands-on in our process, the that the awareness we have, the awareness we hold makes a difference. The conversations we have makes a difference. Thank you. Also, do you like my... This takes me to other dimensions. Je suis multidimensionnelle.